Hey guys, what's up? It's Chord Overstreet hanging out here with Rob on Front Row Live.
Let's talk about this new sound, new direction, new single, Wasted Time. Why did all of this happen for you?
I kind of I took, I guess it started last summer. I just took, 3 or 4 months and just really dove into the studio and wanted to just peel back some layers and make some music that I love listening to.
And with this new kind of direction with music, like how different was it? This is more up-tempo type of, Wasted Time at least is more up-tempo than the acoustic stuff that you had before.
Yeah, I think that came from me playing a lot live, and I did an acoustic tour, and around a bunch of different cities in the U.S. and in Canada, and I wanted to make something that's fun to move to, and that you got to get up and you can have a good time and drink, party, whatever, and it's just fun music.
Now, tell me more about Wasted Time. Creating this track, because it's different. How different was it going into the studio or even writing the track?
Well, it was very experimental. I went in with my buddy Mitch Allen, and we didn't have anything. We started from the ground up, obviously, but I kept talking about this trip that I took out to the desert with some buddies, and we really had no plans. We kind of just aimlessly went out and had a great time, and did what one does in the desert. And then I got back and I started messing around with this guitar riff and screwing around, and we kind of slowly the song kind of just happened. And then we did like 3 or 4 weeks in, me and him, and just really experimented with music and sounds and just had a lot of fun.
Right. And why was this like new sound? Why was it? I mean, what told you this was the new Overstreet, which is what it's called now?
This is just kind of music that I've always done and like loved listening to and loved making. And as a songwriter, I write anything from country music to R&B to I parody stuff. I goof around a lot, and this was kind of my way of incorporating my sense of humor, but also feel good music that makes you move.
Right. Now, tell me about like when you're writing music, Hold On, for example, to now this new material. Like, how do you feel like your writing has kind of like evolved? Because I feel like you've always been just such a great songwriter.
Well, thank you. I mean, I grew up. My dad's a country singer-songwriter, and he's written a lot of he's probably written some of the best country songs, in my opinion, of all time. But I grew up with a storyteller background and like how I write, and so I like to incorporate that in whatever it is. And, sometimes you're in an emotional place and a vulnerable state, and then sometimes you're kind of just in a fucking have fun, wanting to take your mind off stuff.
Right.
And I think this project is just a combination of history, that I've gone through stuff, and then stuff in the last year I kind of just had a chance to really go out and live and experience stuff. And I think that's what all these accumulations, the accumulation of all these songs is.
Right. Now, how different when you go out on tour or a show? How different will this new material be? Will there be like a full backing band? Well, obviously it's not just a stripped down set anymore.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a band, and I want to put on a freaking rock show. I want something that people have to come back and see again.
Right. Now, with this track that just recently got released, are you working on new material? Are you doing the singles way of releasing music?
So I'm always writing any chance I get. I'm trying to fill up my days with in the studio, because I'll go crazy if I don't do that. But I think right now we probably have close to like 20 songs just sitting in my
waiting to be heard,
waiting to put out. So I think we're gonna just kind of constantly just start putting stuff out. I think that's kind of the way it kind of goes nowadays, especially with the internet and everything moving and living so quickly and fast that you kind of just gotta constantly put stuff out. I mean, I think that if you put a full record out right now, especially as a new project, it's a lot for any listener to sit and retain. So you kind of want to slowly have that introduction.
Now, you were still somewhat of a fresh artist when you released your last track. What was it? Hold On.
Yeah.
So making that transition to a whole new project while you're still trying to like introduce the world to your music? I'm sure that's kind of nerve-wracking in a sense. Like, but what made you really like pursue this?
Man, I just started listening to a bunch of different stuff that I was like, man, I really that was just like kind of fun, and it affected me, and I wanted to live in that world. But it's also like I wanted to do it as a side project because I wanted to have the ability to, when I am striked with inspiration, that, you know, it is a little more emotional or more singer-songwriter. Yeah. I still want to be able to have that outlet, and you know, I don't think you can. I don't think you really have to put labels on anything nowadays. I think you can kind of do pretty much whatever you want, especially with, you know, creatively. If you're creative, you know, you can't help it.
Right. So this is more of a side project. It's not the full thing.
No, it's like a full thing. I just wanted to have it as a band thing versus leaving it open to really, you know, do whatever I want creatively.
Right. And now that there's more people involved with this project, does that change the way that you're going to plan out a show, the way that you're going to plan out the way your music, because there's more people involved in the live show?
Yeah, and you know, I think I mean, with what's going on with hip hop, I mean, it's pretty much they're giving an experience, and I want to be able to, you know, give an experience and have there be another element that's not just, you know, going to hear live music. Right.
You mentioned working with Mitch. Is he producing or is he co-writing with you?
Both.
Okay, so
that was just on the first track we put out.
Okay, so are you working with other producers as well?
Yeah, I mean, I set up all the, like, you know, like the guys that I work with well, and that are my buddies that write and stuff, and I just was like, hey, let's go in, let's get a week with, you know, with each person, see if we can get like at least one or two songs that we really dig, and so it's very, I mean, there's probably like 5 or 6 people that I've been working with through this whole project, so it's kind of all over the map.
And has anyone like stuck out to you, like challenged you in a way, and if so, like what is the challenge that they've been giving you?
I mean, yeah, there is. I mean, you have people that are really great and to work with. You know, Mitch. Mitch was great. Mitch is always challenging. I mean, he's been around. You know, he was in SR-71, and he's been around for forever and written a lot of hits. And so anybody that has that kind of pedigree definitely challenges you. And I mean, everybody that I work with, I don't like to be the best one in the room, so I try to be around everybody that's going to make me better versus that's what I love about co-writing and collabing is, you know, I only have access to what's in my brain, so to be able to pick everybody else's is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now you're also with Safe House Records, which is a new label with Nick and Demi. Like, what has that experience been like, and how do you feel about a record label being created by artists that are also, you know, doing the same thing you are?
You know, I think that the cool thing about that is there's a lot more patience that comes from being an artist and going through that, knowing what that experience is. So really being behind somebody and giving them the time to discover what their sound is and what lane they want to live in. I mean, I've just listened to a lot of podcasts. There's this podcast called "And the Writer Is," which I love. But there's this episode with, I think, Mike Caron, and he was talking about the artist development process. Right. And you know, artists will come to him sometimes, and they'll get signed into record deals that sometimes it's 2-3 years too early. You know, so they don't really know who they are as an artist, and you know, they get dropped by labels, and then, you know, they come back, and next thing you know, you're Katy Perry, or just like these, you know, there's something about getting signed too early and not really having the time to develop yourself. So it's kind of cool with having a label that's backed by artists that get that process and know what that's like. So there's not as much of a, we need this now. It has to be go go go. Right. So that's really cool for me, and it's also. As a first project putting out as like music, you want it to be the best thing that you can create. So that's probably the cooler thing about being involved with that.
Nice. Now, Wasted Time is out now. Any plans for some shows coming up anytime soon? Like, what can we expect for 2018?
2018, we're working on shows right now. We have another song coming out top of June, and then we're gonna kind of keep putting stuff out there and slowly kind of try to build this thing and hit the play button and go.
Will the new song be similar to Wasted Time? Will it be a little different?
It's in a you know, fun summer vein, and it's a song called Carried Away, and it's just, I got really drunk one night and I had a session the next day, and I go into this session, we were talking, and I was just so hungover. I was like, guys, I got a little carried away last night. I kind of want to, can we just like drink and make something fun today? And they're like, well, what are you thinking? And I was like, I had this melody and this idea, and one of my co-writers, Nolan Sipe, who's he's one of my favorite people to work with, but I'll say something and he'll say something and I'll say something, and so it just kind of, it's this ping pong match in it, and like an hour later we usually have a song.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's,
you never know when a song is gonna happen.
You never know when a song is gonna hit. There's one day where I had a wild trip in Vegas with my buddy. I think it was like Labor Day or something. I got back and I was like, man, I have nothing to give and nothing to say right now. And I went outside and I was like, wait. And I came back in, and within 30 minutes we had a song. So it's like sometimes when you think nothing's gonna come, like lightning rod hits, and sometimes you have a great idea that you think's great, and you'll beat your head into a wall for hours trying to come up with it. And those are usually the ones that never work.
Well, at least now you know what process is right and which one's wrong.
Yeah, I can kind of sense it when I get into a room.